Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by HIKI No founding underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthi today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.
Next on HIKI No, stories from across the island chain.
From Hawaii Island, students from Hilo High School tell the story of a young woman raised by her grandparents after being separated from her mother and father at an early age.
On Oahu, students from Waipahu Intermediate introduce us to a boxing champion who teaches young people character along with uppercuts, while students at Mid-Pacific Institute shine the spotlight on a celebrity canine. And students from Roosevelt High School take us to a place where people can really get to know one another over a cup of coffee.
From Kauai, students from Kapaa Middle School show us how to beat a bull, while students from Kapaa High School show the impact of adding wrestling as a high school sport.
From Maui, students at Seabury Hall Middle School show us how student art can raise money to help people in need around the world.
Also on Maui, this episode of HIKI No comes to you from Kamehameha Schools Maui, home of the Warriors.
That's next on the nation's first statewide student news network, HIKI No.
Can do. Welcome to the Kamehameha Schools Maui campus, home of the Warriors. Kamehameha Schools Maui first opened its doors in 1996 on the slopes of Haleakala. Originally, it started in 2 small houses in Hokulani, serving students kindergarten through 5th grade. It has since grown into a 180-acre campus, now serving 1,000 students grades K through 12. Our primary focus is to help students of Hawaiian ancestry become Hawaiian leaders in a global society. Our first story takes us to Hawaii Island, where students from Hilo High School introduce us to a young woman who, while being raised by her grandparents, still had a strong emotional bond with her mother.
Lolly's a typical high school student. She hangs out with friends, plays sports, and has a boyfriend. But after school, instead of going home to her parents, she goes home to her grandparents.
Preschool was when I started living with my grandparents. They never really told me, like, straight up why I was raised by them. Kind of took the hint that it's because my parents were really young when they had me. Like, my mom was 16 and my dad was 18, and teenagers.
She gives us very little problems, She seems to just get it, what she's supposed to be doing without us hammering it home, and her grades are showing that she's doing pretty well in school. With her, it's actually not a real problem. It's pretty easy.
At an early age, Lolly had lived with her grandparents along with her father for a couple of years. However, a sudden change had occurred and Lolly was separated from her parents. Despite this, Lolly was able to keep a strong relationship with her mother.
We were really close. She was like a big sister, which was my mom. Because everyone would get us confused. They'd think she's my sister in the store or something like that. I'm like, no, she's my mom. And
although Lolly maintained a strong relationship with her mother, there was always a lingering problem.
She was born with a heart problem. She had surgery, I think, a couple of times, and she was supposed to go in January for surgery. She didn't want to go because she wanted to spend time with her family. She was afraid that if she went, something would happen. They called me and they told me that my mom's in the hospital. They gave her oxygen and she couldn't really breathe, she was hyperventilating and stuff like that. They kept her on the machine, that machine that you put down the throat, and so it was on for about a week. Yeah. Actually our family was trying to wake her up because she was also in a coma. And so we were trying and then nothing happened.
Despite this tragic loss, Lolly continued to grow and thrive. But she couldn't have done this without her grandparents' love and support.
she has something in her too that makes her special. She's still coming along, you know, she's not a finished product yet, you know, none of us are.
Ultimately, we want her to have a good life. And we think, I mean, you gotta have a good foundation for a good life.
Life throws many obstacles at us, and we are able to overcome them with the help of people close to us. For Lolly, she went through something a very few kids go through, but with the help of her grandparents, she was able to reach her goals and develop the building blocks to living an unbelievable life. This is Alyssa Kaneshiro reporting from Hilo High for HIKI NO.
Aloha! We're back on the island of Maui at the elementary campus of Kamehameha Schools Maui. This is where keiki begin their educational journey. Our school is made up of 3 separate campuses, the elementary, middle, and high school. Each building we have here is named after a member of the Kamehameha dynasty. The buildings here at the elementary campus are named after the children of Kamehameha I and Keopuolani. This includes Liholiho, Kauikeaoli, and Nahianaena. We travel now to Oahu for a story from Waipahu Intermediate about a boxing coach who teaches young people as much about developing a strong character as a strong left hook.
Have you ever wanted to meet a boxer before they became famous? You possibly could here at the Waipahu Boxing Club located at the Waipahu District Park.
It's about helping out the community and the kids and giving a few of them a chance to improve their skills as far as boxing goes.
Most of the youths who train at the gym come from disadvantaged families. The club offers them an alternative to hanging out on the streets by teaching them how to box.
We make a lot of champions out of here, and they make it in the newspaper, and it puts their name out here as you know, being part of Waipahu Boxing Club.
Coach Keone has been supervising the boxing club ever since legendary boxer and coach Al Silva passed away.
To a lot of us, he was like our grandfather, our father, you know, and he was a figure in the community. I mean, he was a lot to everyone here. He gave us advice, he was a friend, you know. He was a role model.
Al Silva coached famous boxers like the former lightweight champion Andy Hawaiian Punch Ganigan from Waipahu, Hisa Salud, a former featherweight WBA and the North American Boxing Federation champion, and finally Brian Viloria, the former Olympian, is the reigning WBO and WBA flyweight champion. Coach Silva's legacy lives on in the kids he trained over the years, who grew up to train a whole new generation of athletes.
Was it for him, I wouldn't be into this coaching business, you know. I would just train a little while and I would just give it up. But because of Al Silva, he helped me out.
Coach Silva's lessons went far beyond the boxing ring. He taught respect and dedication.
Al Silva was a really big part in boxing. He used to really like it, no matter what. He can be sick, he can be, you know, badly sick, and he still would come to the gym.
The Waipahu Boxing Club is a place full of memories and great members. Although the club lost a boxer and coach, they are still going strong, and that passion is passed on every day at the club, a place through the decades where champions are made. I'm Venus Pajimola from Waipahu Intermediate School, reporting for HIKI NO.
Welcome back to the island of Maui and the Kamehameha Schools Maui campus. There is much mystery surrounding our beloved chiefess, Keopuolani, for whom this building is named after. She was an ali'i kapu, a sacred chiefess of Ni'aupi'o status, the highest rank held by an ali'i. Keopuolani embraced and accepted Christianity, and she became influential in sharing the Christian religion, particularly among the high chiefs and chiefesses of her time. Today, we use this building to hold chapel services, musical concerts, theater performances, and much, much more.
Our next story takes us to Oahu, where students at Mid-Pacific Institute bask in the celebrity glow of one very popular pup.
I mean, she's just like the little ambassador of aloha. She always brings a smile. You know, he's just bringing joy to the world, one appearance at a time.
She is Hokulani, a 9-year-old Pomeranian. Her owners, Norman and Debbie Dung, never expected Hokulani to become such a hit when they first adopted her.
We always say if she brings joy or laughter, makes someone smile, it's a good thing. And she does that in spades.
I think it's really actually generous of Norman to take Hokulani out, and he visits people, you know, elderly, children, just to bring a smile.
She definitely makes people smile. Her owners are just so creative. Especially during Halloween, we know that Hoku is the dog to beat. You know, one year she was Lady Gaga, it was crazy.
Crazy it is, having to choose from the 125 sets of clothes, 8 different pairs of goggles, and the countless other accessories, some of which are gifts from smiling friends.
She has a nice coat, a nice fur, and very neutral color, so she matches basically anything you put on her. She's one of the few dogs that will let you leave stuff on her head, so she has a collection of hats. She also has accessories. She has little handbags, purses, hats, hakus. She wears a lot of leis with her Hawaiian attire and a lot of jewelry. And we think she's the best dressed dog on the island.
Most of her social media friends agree, having accumulated over 1,360 likes on her Facebook page, which is littered with albums of her new friends.
What we do is when we go out on outings, during the course of the day, we'll come when we're shopping. Once we stop and somebody wants to take a picture, we'll oblige them. But once somebody's looking and say, what are they taking a picture of? And then they'll look and they say, oh, look at that cute dog. And if they like, we'll let people hold her and take a picture of her and be on her Facebook page. We call it Hokulani's Friends. Currently, she has 43 albums of pictures with friends on it.
Those 43 albums contain over 2,000 photos, some of which have Hokulani in the arms of Hawaiian celebrities, but the rest are just smiling people, which is a good thing. For HIKI No, this is Nathaniel Kaneshige from Mid-Pacific Institute.
If you'd like to comment on this show or anything you see on HIKI No, join the discussion at facebook.com/HikiNoCanDo or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HikiNoCanDo.
We're back on the island of Maui at the Kamehameha Schools Maui campus. Behind me is the Business and Leadership Academy and the Information and Technology Academy. In an effort to create Hawaiian leaders prepared for a college and global society, our school follows an academy system. This system was created by our founding principal, Mr. Mitch Kalauli. The system includes 4 academies: Arts and Communication, Business and Leadership, Science and Natural Resources, and Information and Technology. All academies share a common goal, and that goal is to support students in their future field of study. For our next story, we remain here on Maui, where students from Seabury Hall Middle School show us how art can make the world a better place.
Art with Heart, a student-driven club at Seabury Hall, held their 3rd art showcase entitled Transitions on November 30th, 2012. These biannual art displays and performances have become a way for a community of talented students to raise money for needy causes all over the world. Art with Heart co-founder Ariella Brandon describes how the program started.
And we thought, well, you know, if we had a club of young artists who all feel the same as we do about this, we could use their talents and use their creativity to make a difference in the world. So I thought, okay, well, why don't we call it Art with Heart, since it's about using art from the heart to make a difference. And it just sort of started like that, like a little idea, and the snowball started rolling.
What makes this show different from other affairs is that it is the brainchild of Seabury students, and it is produced, directed, and managed by Brandon and co-chairman Mackenzie Tezak. In deciding which charity would benefit from the money raised, Tezak says the decision was an easy one.
A friend of mine who works at an organization called Peace for Paul, which has a home in Uganda where they rescue children out of the slums and send them to school and provide for all their needs. Their water system at their home had been infected with worms and different types of bugs. All the kids were getting ill, and I heard about this need and thought, well, this is a perfect way. It's an immediate need. We can step in. We have this money to provide for them.
Brandon and senior Mackenzie Tezak led an army of students into action.
Right now we currently have 88 members in the club of both fine and performing artists, so visual artists who are photographers, painters, a couple sculptors, jewelry makers. We have poets and writers. We have dancers, musicians, actresses, and yeah, they're all very passionate and compassionate.
Many students have sacrificed time and lent their talents to make the program a success. They found it to be a fulfilling experience.
You know that you're working and performing and doing what you love for someone else's benefit, and it's really a great feeling.
It feels really good to make an art piece for Art with Heart because I know that it's going towards people who need it, and it just makes you feel really good that you're helping out.
The money raised in this one event surpassed the students' expectations.
We raised in the night $4,478.60.
Last year, the most we managed to raise in one night was $3,500. So this was definitely a step up from there, and we're hoping to do even better in the spring.
After the excellent success of the fall event, the leaders of Art with Heart look forward to an even more meaningful and exciting spring show and a dynamic momentum that will carry them forward into the next school year. This is Kai Ponting reporting from Seabury Hall for HIKI Now.
We're back on the island of Maui at the Fine Arts Building at the Kamehameha Schools Maui campus. Every year, approximately 50 students enroll in the Media Endorsement under the Arts and Communications Academy, also known as NAKOA Media. This award-winning media program includes courses in digital video production and digital arts, where students improve their skills in cinematography and special effects. They also create the What's Up Warriors broadcast, which is shown to the student body at the end of every semester. NAKOA Media also includes a journalism program, where students improve on their journalistic writing and reporting skills. They also run a 2-time state award-winning student newspaper, Kaleo Nakoa, with an online version available at www.kaleonakoa.org. Our next story takes us to the island of Kauai, where students from Kapaa High School assess the impact of adding wrestling to their school's athletic program.
On Kauai, a new high school sport is being rolled out as the Garden Island launches its inaugural season of wrestling. It was a hard fight to get to this point. In 1997, the Kauai Interscholastic Federation was set on adding wrestling to its lineup of sports, but due to budget cuts, the idea became unrealistic.
Money became tight during the recession, and so it was very hard to implement a program and still be able to run programs that are already in existence.
House of Representatives member Derek Kawakami was one of the largest supporters of KIF wrestling and helped point on raising half the funds.
We made a deal with KIF and said that we'll try and raise half the money and you guys raise half the money. Fundraising was tedious, but it was amazing how many different people came together to support wrestling. We had people from the neighbor islands from Oahu that were partnering up and chipping in money. So it required a lot of help from many different people.
Donations were collected and neighbor island teams held benefit tournaments to raise over $35,000 for mats, scales, and protective gear. The first tournament was held on January 12, 2013 at Kapaa High School, where all 3 public and 1 private school participated. Students say the sport teaches them lessons both on and off the mat.
Wrestling made an impact on my life because it teaches me discipline, and it gets you mentally fit and physically fit because all the things that you have to do while training for it.
My favorite thing about wrestling is that it's an individual sport at heart, but it also has a team aspect into it. So even if you're on the mat by yourself, you still have your team behind you, cheering you on.
Although wrestling is traditionally a guy-dominated sport, several girls are now getting in on the action.
It's a sport that you have to accept the challenge. You can't just walk away from it.
I like wrestling because it's a different sport and you have to be really focused and you can't give up.
Thanks to the enthusiasm of Kauai's community and interest from the students, wrestling is here to stay.
I think any time we can make a positive impact on our youth, it's very fulfilling, and for us, it's always a goal. If we can save one kid or make a positive impact in one kid's life, then our mission has been well accomplished.
This is Riley Newman at Kapaa High School for HIKI Now.
We're back on the island of Maui at the Kamehameha Schools Maui campus Counseling Center Garden. In 2010, Kamehameha Schools Maui was presented with Spirits in the Wood by our previous high school principal, Dr. Warren Hitz, on his last day before retiring. Displayed in the high school office, this monkey pod board, handcrafted by Dr. Hitz himself, is the first thing that visitors to Kamehameha Maui see. Carved in the wood are symbols that embody Kamehameha Schools Maui. The whale tail, breaching whale, and ocean wave all symbolize exploration, power, freedom, and life from the sea. The pueo, or owl, represents wisdom, along with the ahapua Kamehameha Maui is on today. Below the pueo is a Hawaiian fishhook, which symbolizes our school and everyone that is a part of it.
Now we take you back to Kauai, where students at Kapaa Middle School will show you how to make a beaded bowl.
Did you know that you can make a bowl out of beads?
Preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
After you preheat the oven, you will need to gather your materials. First, choose the bowl size of your choice. It can either be ceramic or glass.
Next, you will need plastic beads. You can find them at any local craft store.
Take a handful and start stacking them down flat at the bottom of the bowl. Make sure that they are flat.
After you have laid the beads down to cover the bottom of the bowl, start stacking them up the sides.
Once the sides of the bowl are covered with beads, take it carefully over to the oven and stick it in. Keep checking the beads frequently.
As soon as the beads are melted in the bowl, take it out of the oven and set it on the counter to cool off.
The cooling will take about 5 minutes.
When the bowl is cool enough to touch, set it in the sink, turn on the water, and fill the bowl up. The beaded bowl should float away from the ceramic mold.
Once the bowl is all dried off, you'll definitely want to use it for something. Now you have your own homemade beaded bowl.
We're back at Ka'ulahea Nui al Komoku Gymnasium on the campus of Kamehameha Schools Maui. Each year, Kamehameha Schools Maui holds Ahamele. Ahamele is a song competition between our classes for a kamako ka'ihe, a beautiful koa wood spear crafted by our former principal, Dr. Warren Hitz. The spear is a symbol of pride, victory, and confidence. Each grade is given a song based off the school theme. In the past, the songs have revolved around themes such as Kulia e Kanu'u and Hulia Mahi. At the end of the competition, the class president of the winning class ties a ribbon claiming the spear for the year until next Ahamele.
If you'd like to comment on this show or anything you see on HIKI No, join the discussion at facebook.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO.
Aloha ho mai na makamako Hawaii nei. Back in 1995, when Kamehameha Schools Maui was still under construction, numerous sites containing ki'ipuhaku or petroglyphs were found on the land that it sits on now. Depictions of dogs, double hau canoe, men, and line carvings were found, including this one. These are just some of the stories retold by the kupuna in this area. Our final story takes us to the island of Oahu, where students from Roosevelt High School show us that a lot can happen over a cup of coffee.
On a typical busy day at downtown, people enjoy looking for a place that offers refreshment and stimulation. Like one of them, I was looking for a place to rest. One day, a sign of a surfer surfing on a coffee cup caught my attention. The discovery of the Beach Bum Café opened the door to meet new people over a cup of Hawaiian coffee. Dennis McCoy opened his coffee shop in January 2011 and has shown a strong passion for his locally grown coffee.
I wanted to have my own business, and I was trying to figure out what it was I wanted to do. I had several different ideas for businesses, including business services, but I really wanted to do something that was social in nature. So it just so happened that coffee was the position I decided I wanted to go with, or the business model.
The unique flavors of Hawaii-grown coffee get a boost by Dennis's unique drip process. Each custom brewed cup does take at least 3 minutes, longer than the mainstream coffee chain shops. At the Beach Bum Café, however, customers see the wait as a rare and invaluable opportunity to get to know strangers, sharing the love for a good coffee.
I will typically ask someone if it's the first time here, how they found out about us. And that inspires a little bit of conversation. Often they'll see something on an internet site like Yelp. Then I'll ask them where they're from, places that, maybe some place I'm familiar with, and what brings them to Hawaii, so it becomes a very conversational thing, and especially because I'm standing in front of them for 3 minutes or so brewing their coffee, so it gives us an opportunity to exchange some information about ourselves.
As a regular, I am fascinated with customers who bring a variety of backgrounds and being able to hear about their origins, professions, as well as experiences they encounter.
The people who come here are really nice, and there's always somebody interesting, and we all talk together.
No, actually, it's nice to have folks who actually know about the different kinds of coffees and are interested in it. To find people who actually like what they're doing is actually a pretty nice aspect of things.
It's just very pleasant. It's a much more personal touch that they give here. It's something you don't get in any other coffee shop. They treat their customers like family.
As a high school student who aspires to be a journalist, I believe face-to-face interaction in this age of online social networking and smartphones is very important. Beach Bum Café is my internet, full of information, stories, and interaction from people all over the world. And the best part is that it does not require Wi-Fi. This is Satoshi Sugiyama for HIKI No.
Well, that's it for this week's HIKI No. We hope you enjoyed your tour through Kamehameha Schools Maui campus
and the stories that were shared from around our islands.
Tune in next week to see what the students of Hawaii can do. Only on HIKI No.
And only on PBS.
HIKI No, can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI No are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by HIKI No founding underwriter Bank of Hawaii, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI No. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.